Alrighty, this screencast is a quick survey of the different measurements of central tendency. So, you would have done this before in previous years, but let's have another look at it. So, central tendency, we're talking about terms such as the mean, the median, and the mode. Now, all of these are a different way of finding out what the sort of, in inverted commas, average is, what the average value is. And they're sort of ways of looking at the average. And so let's have a look at each of these in turn by using a worked example. In our next screencast, what we'll also do is look at measures of spread, which is how we look at the range of data, and also for those of you who want to do more advanced work, we'll be looking at standard deviation, and that's in the second screencast. Okay, so moving on, let's have a look at our example. Imagine we've got the following heights. These were measured randomly in a class of 10 students, and all of these measurements are in centimeters. So we've got 138, 143, 156, 144, and so on. The first thing we want to do, I'll show you how to do, is work out the mean. And the mean is probably the easiest of the lot to actually determine. And the way we do that, there are two things we need to actually determine. In order to work out the mean, and this is what we're going to be looking at the moment, the mean, so I'll just write that down. We're looking at how to work out the mean. Now the mean is simply basically adding up all of the data, all of the numbers there, and dividing by the number of data. And so the first thing we do is add them all up. Now that's what this term here is actually talking about. This term here, this funny looking sign is called sigma. It's actually drawn like this, and it means the sum of. The sum of. It means, in other words, to add up the following list of numbers. Now you'll notice also that this list of numbers that we had, we've designated as X. So in other words, X represents a list of data. And so what this is telling us to do, this symbol here, is telling us to add up all of the values of X. And if we do that, if we add all those numbers up, we get 1,525. The second piece of information we need to work out the mean is the number of pieces of data. In other words, how many pieces of data are there? Well, if we count them all up, we find that there's 10 pieces of data. And so the number of data, or number of pieces of data is 10. And so to work out the mean, it is simply, it's the sum of all the values divided by the number of pieces of data. So in that case, in this particular case, it's going to equal 1,525 divided by 10, which equals 152.5. And because this data is in centimeters, then we'll write centimeters there. That's the mean, what people traditionally refer to as the average. And if you look at our data, the lowest value is 138, the highest value is 167, and so that sounds about right, okay? So that's how we work out the mean.